Hi everyone, my name is Brittany from Brittany Loves Reading, and today I'm coming to you with my May version of Timmies TBR. If you've never seen Timmies TBR before, it is my brand new TBR game. I played it for the first time in April, and I will link the first video up above if you want to go back and check out the rules and how it works, or just see how my April rolls went. Before we jump into this month's rolls, let's check on my April TBR and see how I did. For April, I had to read Ninth House, which I have read, gave it 5 stars. The Charm Offensive, which I only have 100 pages left of, so I definitely will be finishing it in April. Pages & Co., Tilly and the Book Wanderers, I ended up giving this 4 stars. The Weight of Blood, which I gave 5 stars. And Britt Marie Was Here, which I gave 4 stars. So other than the 100 pages that I still need to read in the Charm Offensive, which I'm filming this about a week before the end of the month, so I will definitely be finishing my TBR for April, which makes me very, very happy to say that I successfully have finished my April TBR. That being said, let's jump to the board. Let's see our first roll and see how May's TBR is gonna work out for me. Let's go. Roll number 1 is an 11. A donut space. Steal a book from someone's TBR. So the first roll gave us a donut space, and with that, I ended up getting the prompt to steal a book off someone else's TBR. Now, like I said, I'm filming this a little early. Pretty much no one has posted their May TBRs yet, so I went back to April. And thankfully, Kaylee has hell-bent on their April TBR. Thank you so much, Kaylee, for putting this on your April TBR, because I really want to read Hellbent immediately. Like I said, Ninth House was on last month's TBR. Absolutely loved it. It ended on a cliffhanger, and I need to continue this series. This is Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. It is the second book in the Alex Stern series, which is a dark academia series that has a fantasy undertone. Basically, it follows Alex Stern as she is now a freshman at Yale University and tasked as part of a secret society that keeps track of the goings of all the secret societies that are happening at Yale. There is a cliffhanger at the end of this book, and we follow the events following that cliffhanger. Obviously, I can't tell you about those because spoilers for the first book. But I ended up giving this first book 5 stars, absolutely loved it, and cannot wait to read Hellbent. I need to read this, so when I saw it on Kaylee's TBR, I knew I was using it for this prompt. Roll number 2 is a double 12. A Timbit space. Author's debut novel. Okay, for our second roll, we rolled a doubles and landed on a Timbit space. If you don't know, doubles means I have to double the prompt. So I have to pick 2 books for this prompt, and the prompt was a debut novel for an author. I thought this might be a little bit difficult, but there was actually a couple books that I've been really meaning to read that are both debut authors. The first book that I have put for a debut author is a book that I have serious FOMO about because everyone on BookTube is reading the book and I want to read the book too. And that is Fireborn by Rosaria Munda. Everyone is reading this book or has read this book and loved it. And I need to know. I need to be a part of it. So this was an easy add-on to this TBR. Annie and Lee were children when a revolution changed the way their world worked, and now every single person can test to become a dragon rider. I need to know nothing else about this book other than the fact that people are going to be riding dragons, and I need to know more about that. However, from the looks of it, both of them decide to obviously test to be dragon riders, and because of the circumstances, their allegiance is tested, as well as some people from the old regime before the revolution try to come and take back what used to be theirs, and a war starts out. This is political, this is fantasy, it has dragons, and I am so glad to be putting this on this TBR. I'm very excited about this. The second book I will be reading for this prompt is The Children of Blood and Bone. I've been wanting to start this series for a hot minute, and I cannot wait to be starting it now. I think I'm finally starting to feel like picking up fantasy again, which is actually really exciting because I feel like I haven't been reading fantasy mostly this year, and you'll see that this TBR has definitely leaned into fantasy a little bit. So this follows Zeely. Zeely remembers when magic was a huge part of her world. It flowed through the soil, it was part of the atmosphere, but magic has been taken. The king has come into power and killed the Magi's of this land and stolen their magic. And Zeely has decided to go against this king to regain the magic of this world. I've heard great things, and now it's on my TBR. Roll number 3 is a 7. Another donut space, a library book. For our third roll, we ended up getting a donut space and the prompt of library book. I will be using the book People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry for this prompt. This was unanimously recommended for my title change project, which I am going to be continuing next month, for a book starting with the word people. It was the one I had in mind as well, so here we are, we're gonna read it. So this book follows Alex and Poppy. Alex and Poppy have been best friends for a very, very long time, but they don't live anywhere near each other. Most of the time she lives in New York and he lives in their small hometown. However, every year during the summer, they go on vacation together and catch up and hang out and have a good time. Until 2 years ago, when something happened on this vacation to put a rift in their friendship. Now, Poppy wants to fix this and has convinced Alex to go on one last vacation in order to rebuild their friendship. I'm very excited to finally dive into Emily Henry. I own a few Emily Henry books, not this one, obviously I'm using this as a library book, but I've never actually read Emily Henry, so now's the time. Roll number 4 is a double 8, which takes me to a mood read ×2. Okay, we've reached our final roll. We actually got some big numbers and made it around the board fairly quickly, but the doubles have hit us again. However, the final space is a mood read, so I have to pick 2 mood reads, which I'm not going to complain about. For the first book I'm going to pick, I'm going to slot in the B&K Book Club book for May. Every month, my friend Kelsey and I read a book. Our Discord server is linked down below if you want to read it with us. And we chat about it, do sprints, and have a great time. And this month, for May, we've decided to read The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. I feel like I missed all of the hype of The Atlas 6. I remember it came, and everyone was very excited about The Atlas 6, and everyone was reading it, and I wanted to read it at that time, but I just never got around to it. Well, now I'm finally doing it. Finally reading The Atlas 6. I love dark academia. It is probably one of my favorite subgenres of literature, and this is a dark academia book, so I have high, high hopes that I will enjoy this book. So this follows the Alexandrian Society, which is a secret society of magical academians, and every decade they initiate 6 new members. This book follows the newest amount of 6 people. And they are told basically 5 will be initiated and 1 will be eliminated. So it's kind of like a fight to the death to be part of this society. That sounds fantastic, frankly, and I cannot wait to read this with the book club and discuss it with anyone who wants to join. Keeping in the dark academia vein, my final book on this TBR and my final mood read is going to be The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. I know. This has very low reviews. I'm aware. I loved The Silent Patient, absolutely loved The Silent Patient, which was this author's debut novel. And when this came out, I immediately got it. Did not read it right away, kind of regret not reading it right away because then I heard reviews that this book wasn't as good and it's kept me from picking it up. I still like to give books a try even if they don't get great reviews because there have been times where lots of people dislike a book and I love it. you just never know until you try. So I am going to be reading The Maidens this month. So this is a dark academia book set at Cambridge University, and it somehow has a link to Greek mythology. I can't quite figure out from the synopsis how it links to Greek mythology, but there's a mythology element to this book as well. This follows Mariana, who is looking into a murder in Cambridge, and she is quite certain she knows who the murderer is. She thinks it is the Professor Edward Fosca. She is very certain, but she doesn't know why. Why would this professor be murdering students? And what is going on? Is there a secret society? Most likely there is, because it's a dark academia book and that's part of it. Mariana is determined to find out what is going on. That is all I know about this book, other than that I know it has consistently pretty low reviews, but I'm excited to try it for myself. And this is my Timmies TBR for May, along with Hellbent and the Atlas 6. It's a pretty doable stack, and I'm very excited about most of these books. We've got some romance, some fantasy, a lot of dark academia. We've really leaned into fantasy and dark academia this month, and I'm totally okay with that. This is what my May is going to look like. What is one book you're excited to read in the month of May? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.